Oilers Nation After Dark begins now.
Well, that is how we like to enter 2025. Cheers, everybody. The sweet taste of victory heading into the new year. A pretty dominating 4-1 victory for the Edmonton Oilers. I'm dressed for the occasion. Gene was dressed for the occasion. We had eerily similar intros on both of our pregame shows as the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Utah Hockey Club. Hello, what up, and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark, the final ONAD of 2024. And let me tell you, it's been a hell of a year, a hell of 365 days. I've been able to do this show and pre-gaming, and there's no better way than to wrap it all up with a W. Also, would like to let you know that ONAD is a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today and use the promo code NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Let's check in with the chat right now. And yes, I know I look ridiculous. It's also very hard to read with these on, so they're only going to be on for a moment. But Fighting Amish, wait, nope, that's the wrong one. That's from earlier today. Percy, love starting the new year, playing La Bamba. Sadistic Angel, I laughed at this, said, bring on 2015. Have you been drinking this evening? That's a little bit of a typo there. Bring on 2025. As Pats fan says, Happy New Year. The Oilers are winning the cup in 2025. Minecraft's just got a stew. Happy New Year's, everybody. It's a cup year. It's a cup year. Tammy's in, says cheers, Oily friends. And then, as you know, here on Oilers Nation After Dark, your super chats are all in support of the Ben Stelter Foundation, a cause very near and dear to every one of our hearts. And let's start it off with Percy's in $25. Says Brownie got first star LFG. Nothing better than playing La Bamba, baby, to ring in 2025. Cheers to a new cup year. Ryan, we don't unit shame. 279 says, Happy New Year's, everybody. Hope you're spending it with your loved ones, your friends, and your family. Southpaw's in with a W. Cup year and Happy New Year. I guess I'm just going to say it in that way. Holy shit. Well, what do you know? The MVP of the Super Chats, it's Tammy, in with $100 to wrap up 2024. She says 2025 will be the Oilers Cup. Yeah, and always hearts and stick taps for Ben. Tammy, you never cease to amaze me in your donations, and you are really the OG of all this donating every W kind of thing. It started at $5, and now you're throwing in that. We love you, Tammy. Stick taps in the chat for Tammy, of course. And then Rusty's in with $5, and he says Stuart Skinner was a brick wall. Oh, he bounced back after a loss? If you tune into pre-gaming, you knew that Stuart Skinner was going to do that this evening. He says, Happy New Year, everyone. What a great win, and let's go Oilers. All right, that's about as long as I can do this. That's very hard to keep reading with those on. Let me straight up. All right, there we go. Regular Bordzy is now back, and I feel like myself. So you see it there mentioned, Stuart Skinner. He was pretty damn good this evening. And the big story kind of coming into this one, we knew Jeff Skinner was going to find his way back into the lineup this evening. Nobby said it earlier this morning, but he never said who was coming out or what was going to happen. Well, we got some news when we first got that Oilers announcement as Connor Brown was going to be on the top line with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. And while that lasted for 20 minutes, we saw Nuge move down to the third line. Second period hits, they make some adjustments, and bang, Connor Brown has another 2-point night. That guy has been on fire recently, and I guess we can ask it, is this going to be remembered as the Connor Brown game? The New Year's Eve Connor Brown game is 2-point night in its first game in quite some time with 97. We mentioned a lot on pre-gaming, right? This was the spot that we envisioned Connor Brown playing in when he initially signed with the Edmonton Oilers. We noted his speed, his ability to score goals, multiple 20-goal seasons in his history. And if you tune into the Matt bit last year, you know it did not work out that way. But Brownie, he has been on fire lately. He's been producing points. Jack pointed out that he's third on the team in 5v5 points per 60, and that he's only averaging around 13 minutes a night. But he's been pretty damn productive in that time. And Nobby, this guy just has the pulse of this team down pat, right? This worked when he put Victor Arvidsson on the top line. It worked when he put Kasperi Kapanen on the top line, and it works again with Connor Brown. And, you know, it was weird to start because you saw Zach Hyman on his unnatural left side. Shout out to Jason Greger. I wasn't in the building, obviously, but he had a tweet that Hyman went up on the initial faceoff to the right side, and, you know, Brownie had to go over and tap him and say, hey, bud, you're over there on the left. And maybe he was uncomfortable in that. Hyman also looked a little bit off this game. Jack and Louis noted he is playing with a broken face, but it looked like he was more affected tonight by something than he has been previously. I digress. We saw Nuge go down to the third, and then Nobby makes that swap, and bang, less than 5 minutes into that second period, they score once. 20 seconds later, they score again. That top line does. And brother, I am here for it, for all those things. And who knows if Brownie will stay, how long it will happen. I do not envision Zachary Martin Hyman being off Connor McDavid's wing for an extended period of time. It felt like it just wasn't Hyman's night tonight. But I digress. Other thing of note in this game, and was mentioned a lot online, their second line just continues to be rock solid with Leon Draisaitl, Vasily Podkolzin, and Victor Arvidsson. We noted it on pre-gaming. We saw changes to 3 separate lines, but we didn't see anything touched on that second line. And for good reason, man. They were all over it. Unsurprisingly, chance after chance, really dominating puck possession. That first goal that Matthias Ekholm scored was entirely a result of that line working down low, possessing the puck, cycling it, going high to low, low to high, trying to find their opportunities and soft spots in the defense. Bang, Matthias Ekholm pounces on a loose puck. And there's one point I got to put my hand up for accountability, because today on pre-gaming I mentioned, and this was all in a world of trying to get a spark under Jeff Skinner, is that you could maybe justify taking Vasily Podkolzin out of that second line opportunity. I know Dry loves him, and I said run all this past Dry before, but Pod's game is more fourth line style than Jeff Skinner's game. I think that's pretty obvious to say, but then watching this game as it continued to go along, dude, I'm sitting there like, you can't take Pods out of the top 6, regardless of how many goals he's scoring. He just does the right things. He does the smart things. And it's the same conversation we've had all year. His puck retrievals and ability to keep the cycle going, keep it alive along the boards, and allowing Leon Draisaitl to skate into a puck and make a play. We know he lays the body, got big hits, everything, and he might not be scoring, but he's been playing damn well recently. Yeah, I see Jessica Pods works. 100% final buzzer. Skinner is a bust. I don't know if you've ever said anything final buzzer positive about Jeff Skinner. To be fair, he hasn't done a lot to be positive about so far this season, but yeah, as I always say, I digress. Another thing to talk before we get into the greatest scoring summary, and then I see he's requested in the chat. Producer Pat will be joining us in just a moment, but I want to talk about Stuart Skinner because 26 saves, 27 shots for a .963 save percentage. And Stuart Skinner bounces back yet again, man. It's what he's done all season long after a loss. He is yet to lose back-to-back games since it was in mid-October at the beginning of the season. And now, Stu wasn't overly tested, I would say, in the first period. Now, the first goal he did allow was basically a breakaway, a little bit of a breakdown from Kasperi Kapanen, allowing the Utah player to come in front of the net. And I will say this about Utah, and I noticed it online. There seemed like to be a willingness from them to shoot from kind of all over the place. Saw it online being discussed of, is the book out on Stuart Skinner that most fancy stats, if you will, do not favor Stuart Skinner. You should probably pepper him with shots on net. But the second period comes along, and Stu was absolutely fantastic, dude. He had a number of big saves off of the rush where he was kind of coming out and challenging shooters. And now he did have some juicy rebounds here and there. He had solid, for the most part, good rebound control. And I said on pregaming, the record of Stu after losses recently, since mid-November, every time he's lost a game, he's come back and been at least above a 920. Does it yet again tonight with a 963. That's going to help your save percentage, and we are going to like that. Let's move along now to the Greta Bar-Yeg scoring summary, brought to you by Greta Bar-Yeg, my favorite spot in the entire city. It's where Oilers Nation loves to watch the game, home and away. It's a great spot for pre and post game, and we will be there all season long for our viewing parties throughout the year. Check out their great street food menu, awesome games in the arcade, and their weekly drink specials. Greta Bar, it is the place to be. Also of note, they're having quite the fancy party going down there this evening. I believe you can still get tickets to it. Let's just say it's very formal. It's very fancy. I'm kind of jealous. I probably should have found a way to get out of this show. Just kidding. We're going to hang out here together. We're going to ring the new year in together. I've also forgot to do this yet. Happy New Year. We're not there yet in Edmonton, but I do see some of you are watching from all over the world. So happy New Year to you guys specifically. Let's go now. Start it off with the first goal of the game, scored by Mattias Ekholm, 6th of the season, assisted by Vasily Podkolzin and Evan Bouchard. And it's what I mentioned before, right? The second line, they were going to work. They were gassing this Utah forward group and defense pairs. They were on the ice for a very long time. Evan Bouchard rips one from the point. I don't even know if it hit the net or what happened there. Creates there. You got a good look at it here. Okay, so it did. It hit goaltender in the glove and then finds a way to bounce out. Pods, those subtle plays, yet again, finds a way to get that puck to Mattias Ekholm, who he's been an offensive juggernaut so far this season. It's him and Brett Kulak from the back end, baby, and he takes his time, loads one up, and he is able to beat Jackson Stauber. He had some good numbers coming into this one, and he was very, very tested this evening. Overall, I thought that Stauber kid was pretty good overall on the evening. We then get to 1-1 for the Utah Hockey Club as it's Jack McBain's 10th of the season, assisted by Dylan Guenther and Logan Cooley. And Cooley, he dumped the puck in there along the half wall where Dylan Guenther just goes, wins a race to the puck, sends it out to McBain. But the person that I'm watching, and you'll see it again, McBain there kind of finds the soft spot, the quiet area there on the blue line, and kind of really sneaks in behind one Kasperi Kapanen. Now, I also see, I think it's Brett Kulak who's there circling around the blue line, which then forces, I believe, Darnell Nurse to move down. You get how that happens. It's a domino effect like most goals, but you see Kapanen not really sticking with his man there. He sees it immediately, goes, oh, fuck. And then it is too late. Not really. Gonna blame Stuart Skinner there. And why would you? It was the only one he allowed on the evening. We then move to the second period. 4 minutes and 53 seconds into the second period. I mentioned Nobby changes up the pairings. Start of the second, it's McDavid, it is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and it's Connor Brown. And Connor Brown finds a way to force a turnover rather in the offensive end. Immediately gives the puck over to 97. I love it. You just go, I can't mess this one up. You send it right over there. He outweights Mikhail Sergachev and finds a waiting, locked, and loaded Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for his 8th of the season. I also love the 2-pump celly there from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. This was a thing of beauty. And then it didn't take very long afterwards, 20 seconds to be in fact. Same line, stays out on the ice. Skinner leaves it there behind the net, and the breakout, off she goes. McDavid over to Connor Brown, who does a little pull-up, sends it over to Troy Stetcher. And I will be honest, I thought this one was pretty weak for one Jackson Stauber to allow, but it doesn't matter. Stetch gets on the board, his 3rd of this NHL season. Stetch had a very, very rough game on Sunday as he had 8 minutes in penalties. It was a tough one, and at least he comes out here tonight, finds a way to bury and get on the score sheet. And then finally, a third period, Leon Draisaitl scores his 27th of the season. I like the Jack and Louis said it. They don't ask how, they ask how many. Empty netters count all the same. Ask Alex Ovechkin about that recently. It's his 27th, assisted by Ty Emberson and one Matthias Ecke. I had an Arvidsson point there, and he totally looked at him and then looked him off and sent it to Leon. And I'm happy for the boys, but damn it, I could have used that. Could have used some profit. Let's go now to the good, the bad, and the oily, brought to you by Oodle Noodle. We love them. Shout out to our fearless leader, Jay Downton, and our boy Wanye as well, as they run quite the operation over there. Nudesmas is done. I'm not sure what the deals are right now, but people, I assume you're going to be pretty hungover tomorrow. Nobody wants to be cooking that hungover on New Year's Day. You're supposed to be meant sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing, being a slob, and Oodle Noodle can help you do that. They will deliver, and you will find a way to enjoy many, many of their delicious meals. For the good, the bad, and the oily, let's bring him in. He's known as Handsome Pat. Wait, Pat, I want you to come join in as well. And Connor Brown. Connor Brown is equally, well, not equally as handsome, but actually, now that I think about it, Pat, you two do have some similarities. The red tinge of hair.
The red-ish beard could be that.
Yeah, equally handsome, equally fast on skates. But the good this evening, without a doubt for me, it's Connor Brown. I was surprised to see it when it was announced that he was going to get his top line opportunity. We talked, Pat, about the speed, brother, the speed that you could use with both of these guys. And Connor Brown came into this game with 8 points in his last 8 games. Now he finishes with with 2 assists. He's got 10 in his last 9. Jack, I mentioned, pointed out that he's third on the team in points per 60 at 5v5. And he finally gets a shot with 97. He took full advantage of it, and I thought he was awesome. One thing that maybe I think I could say about Connor Brown's tenure so far in the Edmonton Oilers, and it has been up and down. We tracked it on a literal goddamn map for most of last season, but tonight he wasn't overthinking. He was just reacting. Felt like trusting his instincts. Immediately give the puck over to 97 when you find a way to force a turnover. I liked it. His interview, Brandon's just such a beauty. I looks like a guy I could really crush beers with. He's like, yeah, I'm blessed to be on 97's team, blessed to be on his line. Don't know how long I'll be here, but it's sick to be here. And you're just like, fuck yeah, dude, totally. Connor Brown, Pat, he's the good tonight.
Yeah, man, it was awesome watching him take advantage of the opportunity. And exactly like you said, that first goal, his instinct was, let's just give it to 97 and something good's going to happen. And that's exactly what happened. Then in the second goal, you saw a little bit of his speed, a little bit of his brain. He hits the brakes at the blue line. He finds the outlet. It goes over to McDavid, and there you go. I guess no, it was Stetcher. But exactly. He's got the brain for it. And it's just so nice to see that this is exactly what we had in mind for him. And to watch him pull it off, and not even just today, but the success over the last couple of weeks has just been so fun to watch. And you know that he cares so much. That smile he's got, like you said in the interview, it proves it all. He loves playing for the Oilers. He loves playing with McDavid. And if he gets another shot at it, I'm okay with that.
You know what I'm loving is how much the chat is loving you. Pat, yay. Pat mentioned. Happy New Year's, Pat. Hi, Pat. Happy New Year's, Pat. Happy New Year's, Pat. They love Pat. They know a good guy when they see one. So shout out, Pat. Shout out all you in the chat for hanging out with Pat and I. As we're still going to get our New Year's. That's why we did the show. Did you notice how quick we came on the air after that game ended? We got places to be. We got people to see. With the good comes the bad. And this evening, there wasn't much in the Oilers game. So we went with Team Canada at the World Juniors. They lose to Team USA by a score of 4-1. The USA scored 3 goals, I do believe, on the power play. Team Canada took 11 minor penalties. It was nauseating. I wanted to puke at some of those penalties that were being taken. As you don't even give yourself a chance in a game like that. And it has been a very disappointing tournament so far for the Canadians. You lose to Latvia? The hell was that? I'm still not over that. And then you go out and you get kind of worked here by Team USA. And I'll be honest with you, it's a result that I think I did expect. And I don't know enough about Canadian junior hockey to sit here and nitpick the roster like I will do with the Four Nations when it becomes that time. I reserve the right to pick that roster apart, but there's been a lot of discussion about certain names being left off of this team. And like I said, I don't know enough about that to talk about it, but I do know that it's fair to critique management when Team Canada loses 2 separate round robin games at the World Juniors. That is fucking unheard of when we think of back where we came from and the tournaments we've watched Team Canada execute and play before. Sometimes they've been perfect, man. And the struggle this year is it really seems like defense and goaltending are there. It's just been the lack of scoring that's killed. And a lot of those names that I've heard that aren't on the roster were guys who are known to score goals. Pat, there wasn't much from the Oilers. I mean, if you have anything bad for the Oilers, feel free. If not, what's up with Team Canada?
Yeah, man, it's tough. Like you said, there's a couple names like Michael Misa they probably could have brought. As you mentioned, I'm not an expert at the World Juniors or prospects like Stephen Ellis at Daily Faceoff is by any means, but I've listened to him a few times talk about this. And yeah, again, I'm not going to critique the roster construction because it's all hindsight, right? Like maybe this team came out and put up a bunch of points and we wouldn't be having this conversation, but it's pretty clear that they're struggling to get those goals. And I thought the main bad for tonight for Team Canada was definitely, I mean, obviously the penalties, but it's the penalties they're taking. It seemed like a lot of them were reactionary. And that's something these kids will learn as they get older, right? They're on the big stage as well and emotions are high, but they're taking stick infractions. I believe the one penalty, the guy like flung the goalie stick out of the...
Did Pat just freeze on everybody else?
Are we back?
Yeah, okay, there you go. Now you're back.
Yeah,
now
I saw that freeze for a second. I was just saying undisciplined penalties where they flung the stick into the corner and then there was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds left or so. And I don't remember who it was, but he got the elbow up high and now you're in the penalty box instead of having an opportunity to get a goal and then maybe pull the goalie and tie the game, right? Those are the moments you really have to lock in, be disciplined, and play for the team and not just yourself. And, you know, try to, like I said, you're kind of in the spotlight and that's new for a lot of these guys, right? So it's disappointing to watch 100%, but I'm still going to watch it either way and I'll still be cheering for Canada. But yeah, it's just weird weird watching them not put up like 10 goals a game. Granted, not usually against the States, but still.
It's weird, right? And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older, but it has a different feel. I also always feel bad when now, what am I, 10 years older than these kids? And I'm like, fuck, they don't got the mental fortitude to handle this tournament where the entire nation's yelling at them and watching them. So I got to pull back on myself a little bit, but I don't know. It's been frustrating. These kids are going to be dealing with this type of pressure if they hope to get to the NHL one day. Also, I'm seeing some goods in here. Good, we didn't give up the lead. They're also poor George. That goaltender, he good. He damn good. He's going to be something in the NHL one day. Hey, Canadian goaltending. There's your Four Nations goalie a couple of years down the road, as it's been slim pickings, looks like, for this year's tournament. Gord says should have played more Bo Akey. Makes you think. Makes you think. Who knows? Also, this I loved. Tyler's pants. Pat is the Connor Brown of ON. Yeah, he's a glue guy through and through, without a doubt. Could not do anything that I do without Patrick Puff. Let's make that very clear. The Nudge, those penalties, man. Yeah. 22 minutes of penalties. Canada, and then Dre. Nice. I corrected myself. He said, we are going to lose to Czechia too. Yeah, at this rate, I honestly wouldn't really even be surprised if that did happen. But I digress. Move along. The bad to the oily. And we went with the oily this year, your New Year's resolutions. Throw them in the chat if you've got one. It can be personally. It can be about the Edmonton Oilers. As I said, I guess this is more of my wish list. They gave one on the broadcast, so I can give a wish list as well. Also, Jean's outfit.
It was good.
That is why he is the GOAT and no one's on his level. Also, shout out Wanye made a meme because him and I were both doing the same thing at the same time, which might be the greatest compliment I've ever been given before in my hosting duties. Gonna
Mhm.
sleep good tonight about that one. But New Year's resolution for me, I said I got 3 of them in no particular order as well. Shoot the puck more. For the love of God, you're the Edmonton Oilers. You can score. Just shoot, shoot, shoot. I really am turning into everything I used to hate, a la my old man. Number 2, feels like first number 1 seed in the Pacific is slipping away here a little bit. I would like home ice advantage in the NHL playoffs. And then finally, my third one is play the LTIR game with one Evander Kane. I want to cheat. I want to find a way. No particular order, but that's probably up number 1 on my list. I am jealous of watching all these teams take advantage of this. I don't understand why they haven't changed the rule. So if they haven't changed the rule, I would also like to benefit off of NHL taking a nap and not understanding that this keeps happening year after year. Those are mine. Final buzzer. You are committed to the Jeff Skinner hate. Number 1, dump Jay Skinner. Fair. I asked for one. Pat, would you also? Kennedy said she made the meme. I just assumed that was Wanya. Kennedy, I love you. I will pay you your money under the table later. Thank you very much. But Pat, if you had to pick one, what would your resolution be?
Yeah, I really like the home ice advantage one in the playoffs because I think it comes with a potential bonus that we might not have to play LA in the first round. Not that I'm worried about playing LA in the first round. I'm just tired of watching it. And I mean, knock on wood, let's say we play them every year for the next 6 years. Eventually they're going to win once, even if it's just luck, right? So just avoiding that in general and having home ice is at the top of my list for sure. And then, I mean, we talk about it every single day, a top 4 defenseman of some sort, to someone to play with Darnell Nurse. Or at this point, I'm open to anything on defense. Just, I'd like to boost. I don't know. I just think the forwards, like we have lots of depth right now. We've got players that are swapping in and out and playing well on different lines. Connor Brown is a perfect example. We've got, Savoie on the Condors and whatnot. We could bring up worst case scenario. So if I had to pick, I'm going defense, I think. But number 1 on my list has to be, I mean, home ice advantage would just be so big.
Exactly. I'd like to go to a playoff game. I didn't get to go to any of those last year. Granted, Greta Barrieg is arguably better than Rogers Place, and you know that, Pat. You were there with me through and through. Obviously, the top 4 D-man. Troy Stecher, you've been solid enough. It really feels like reality's starting to come here a little bit of, oh yeah, we've been putting a Band-Aid over top of a gunshot wound for quite some time right now. And he's done a good job as that Band-Aid Stetch. But I'm looking for that top 4 D-man. And Pat, let me bounce this off you before we move along. One thing that I know we're in the market for that top 4 D-man through and through, right shot, blah, blah, blah. And I agree it will come, hopefully like the Ekholm did, where the more the year comes along and a big name presents itself. But up until then, if Stecher continues to struggle and it's not really working, we've seen Brett Kulak switch sides, but Nobby's clearly doesn't like that and wants to keep Kulak on the left side. I would really like to see Ty Emerson get a shot, moved up to that top 4, because what if, maybe this is just me being super optimistic, what if you're looking for that top 4 defenseman and he's been right under your nose literally the entire time, getting better with each and every game? I feel like I'd like to see him get that shot at some point because, as I think everyone in this chat would agree, he just keeps getting better and better, more comfortable with every game. And he plays on the PK with Matthias Ekholm. That duo has been a large turnaround, or a large reason in the turnaround for the Oilers PK. What do you think about that idea? Maybe sliding MB up to, let's find out what we got in this guy first.
100%. And we've done a little line juggling here and there throughout the season with the forwards. And we've even done it a couple times with the defense. I don't see any issue with that. He plays hard. He's a big guy. He fights. Let's find out what we have in him, especially because, I mean, we've been hearing reports around that we're potentially looking at re-signing him and stuff too. So you got to figure out what you have in this guy. And I think something that the Oilers have been poor at in the past few years is giving those rookies and the younger players the opportunities. I feel like it took us too long to give Holloway his opportunity, and even Broberg, we didn't play until the playoffs, and here we are, right? Completely different scenarios. But I mean, we put Connor Brown on the first line. I'm sure we can get away with Emerson on the second D pair.
And I like this point from Dre, who also gave me a compliment for remembering how to say his name. Ekholm and Emerson were on the ice at the end of the game together too. Yeah, dude, they've been solid, and it really just feels like everything we've given Emby a chance to do. And let's remember, he's only played 65 now games in the NHL. He's getting more comfortable with each and every opportunity. And as Oilers Goat says, God bless Nobby for recruiting Emby. And then Minecraft, Emby def deserves a re-sign. Oh, yeah, brother. And you mentioned the Holloway Broberg. Let's learn from our mistakes. And let's not fuck around when we're trying to re-sign these guys. Let's honestly get a little early. Let's get a little early to it. I'd rather overpay Emerson right now. Maybe do maybe a 3-year deal. Who knows? Something like that. Because I trust my eyes when I see it. This guy's going to be good. In fact, he's already good. But, he's got the potential to do great things. Let's go now to our Boom and Doom performers of the evening, brought to you by Odd Company Nation Beer. Every day lager. It's perfect for game day. It's perfect for every day of the week. Tomorrow, come on, it's a holiday. You can be crushing beers, watching sports. There's 3 college football games tomorrow. I'm excited to watch some of those bad boys. Also, shout out Penn State. Profited off that one earlier today. Throw in your booms. Throw in your dooms if you got them in the chat. Patrick, do you want to start it off, or should I start it off?
Well, I've got a boom if you want me to start, but I'm probably going to steal yours because we briefly talked about it before we went live. It's got to be Ekholm. I think Ekholm had an incredible night tonight. He was all over the ice. He almost got that wraparound. He had obviously the goal, and even just that goal, the mindfulness to get into the slot. They showed the graphic in the intermission where all the shots were from the outside or kind of around the net, but the one shot that was from a high danger spot was him, and he buried it. He was just flying tonight, and he was mucking it up a little bit too with O'Brien. I think he had an incredible night tonight.
Yeah, I see some people agreeing. Sadistic, boom, Ekholm. Guy couldn't have shot the puck one more time. Would have been an extra boom this evening, but
yep.
All right, I can deal with that. Minecraft says all 3 stars tonight, who were Connor Brown, Stuart Skinner, and Matthias Ekholm. Yep, that's pretty damn fair right there. You kind of worked them all in. I also forgot to zoom my camera in. There we go. Yeah, dude, you kind of said it through and through there. For me, I'm going to go with Stu because I love that. Like I said today, the thing that gave me the most confidence in the Oilers bouncing back from the weekend is those numbers I read from Stuart Skinner. Yes, he has bad games. He's a 26-year-old goaltender in the NHL. Look at all the other goaltenders. They're doing the same fucking thing. Maybe not as egregious sometimes as Stu, but you get the point that I'm making. And he comes out game after game after losses and finds a way to outduel the other goalie. I could also, you mentioned Brownie, you mentioned that. Gina, good point. Boom to Nuge. It is always nice to see Ryan Nugent-Hopkins get on the score sheet, scoring goals like that. I loved the celebration that he had going on with this as well. Sadistic said, I loved everything about Stu's play. And then let's think of some dooms. It's kind of hard to be negative. I agree with Dre again. Canada's PK. You can also just say the dudes. I mean, I don't want to blame PK when you take that many minor penalties throughout the game. Like, you're playing with fire, and the thing we knew about Team USA coming into this, and they got some elite offense on that team, and you don't want to give them the man advantage. So the entire doom, I guess, could go to Team Canada. Pat, do you have any dooms? Maybe they're on.
I mean, the only doom for me would be that the games were on at the same time. I really wish we could have had like an 11 o'clock Team Canada USA game, or even like a 3 o'clock one or 2 o'clock one that bled into the Oiler game would have been perfect. The only other minor nitpicky thing that I had was just on, and not the goal itself or Stuart Skinner at all, just the timing of it. It just seemed like one of those times where we get the first goal momentum's on our side. Oh, we let in the next shot. That seems to happen more than I'd like, but Stuart Skinner locked it down right after that. So very nitpicky of me, but I just like to keep an eye on those. We got the momentum. Oh, there it goes, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a movie we've seen way too many times before. Yeah, Jessica, Doom, Team Canada, Final Buzzer.
Yeah.
You're making me laugh. Said it's not that hard to be negative. Yeah, you're very good at it. I'm an optimistic guy. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. Speaking of which, this is getting down the bottom here, Patrick. Don't worry. We're locked. We're loaded. But we will be wrapping up shortly. Let's go now, though, to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Because we love them. They're a proud partner of Oilersnation After Dark. Open an account with Bet365 today. Bet on a huge range of markets. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today and use the code NATION. All right, Pat, let's do it because I know what's coming up as you go along with these. I said before the show, watching the other night on Sunday and knowing that you were going to throw up red X's when Liam goes through his bets, and I was like, I don't know if he's ready for that. So hit the first one for me. Matthias Ekholm, he had 2 shots on goal after the first period. I felt very confident in this. He was the only Oiler to have 2 shots after the first period. And I went, Bordzy, South 5, you were reading the game script today. Well, nope, that in fact did not happen. The second one, though, a bang. That one happened. Connor McDavid with a 2-point evening. He had 2 apples in 21 minutes and 11 seconds of ice time. And then another big fat red X next to the Arvidsson 1+ points. If Eki just didn't want to look him off, if he didn't want to send it over to Leon Draisaitl for his league leading 27th or 28th of the year, then I would have been an even more rich man. But it's all right. We will take the W, 1 for 3 on the evening. And as we always say, remember to bet responsibly. Only bet what you are willing to lose on Bet365 as we don't unit shame. Come on now. You can put in a 50-cent super chat. I'll still read it. And you can put in a 50-cent bet. If you win, I'm still going to be happy for you because you're in the green, because a win is a win is a win. Another one, just want to give a quick shout out to. It's the holiday season. You want to keep yourself together. Shouts out to Sober Carpenter Craft Beer Reimagined, because this year Sober Carpenter celebrates 5 years of brewing award-winning non-alcoholic craft beer. From hoppy IPAs to rich Irish Reds, they've got the flavor without the buzz. Find Sober Carpenter at Sobeys and Loblaws, delivered straight to your door at sobercarpenter.com or at your favorite liquor stores across Alberta. Cheers to 5 years of staying true to the craft. Sober Carpenter, crafted for those who sip differently. Why don't the Naj? Hey, AB, if I'm not mistaken, Shesterkin this season has 11 games where he allowed 5 goals. Sick. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do with that. Was that about Skinner related, maybe? I don't know, but I'll take that. No, I'm happy for that. Let's not overthink it.
Yeah.
Let's just roll with that. Anything else in the chat? Let me know. Doom, Jeff wanted Jeff to find his place on this team. Yeah, what'd you kind of think about Jeff Skinner this evening? I mean, doesn't really play a lot to notice a lot. He played 10:53 on the evening, 1 shot on goal as well. And I guess the thing, and I think maybe it was Bob who said it during the intermission. I can't remember, but it was a discussion that Jeff Skinner, through and through here, he's going to have to try and find a way to reinvent himself. And that obviously it's not going to be as a 4th line grinder. That's not going to happen. I don't like the position he's being put there. And granted, he's still finding moments to show offensive flash, but he needs to play with some real skilled players to really utilize what he brings to the table, which is elite goal scoring capabilities. So I think Jay Skinner's goal, really realistically, he's not going to crack the top 6. He's behind a lot of people, I will say, Kapanen, one Evander Kane, even probably Matthias Janmark at this point for the top 6 opportunity. So he's got to find a way to get into that 3rd line and try and find a 3rd line that can provide secondary scoring against those lesser matchups, right? Against third pairing D-men, finding him out there. And in spurts, like I mentioned, Connor Brown has been playing a lot of the year on that third line. He's third on the team in 5v5 scoring per 60, which has then found him a way to get up to the top line. Feels like, and I mean, it's a lot easier said than done, obviously, but Jay Skinner, to me, that's his only path to freedom on this team, if you will. Otherwise, he's going to be locked in that doghouse through and through. Pat, you picking up what I'm laying down there with Jay Skinner? Because, like, I don't blame any of these decisions. If there's an odd man out, it's clearly Jeff Skinner.
Yeah, and it's disappointing because I keep thinking one of these nights he's going to have that show out night where he's just so visible all over the ice and he's banging bodies and he's putting points on the board. We haven't seen it yet, although I will give him some praise. I noticed some fire from him today. He also mucked it up in the corner with Liam O'Brien after that one whistle.
That guy's a fucking rat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 100%. But that's what Knobloch wants to see. He wants to see that Jeff Skinner cares and wants to be on this team and in this lineup. And that's not necessarily his role. You know, like he's mentioned, he's not a fourth line guy. He shouldn't be banging bodies and, you know, fighting their fighter necessarily. So, I mean, ideally, maybe you like in a perfect world, I'd like to see him swapped out for Connor Brown for a couple games. Connor Brown played well on the first line with McDavid. I have no doubt that Jeff Skinner could do the same. Will he? That remains to be seen. Will that ever happen? Also,
I think it happened again. I'll pick it up from where Pat was leaving it off until he goes again. But nice, you are back. There you go. Perfect. You want to finish that thought?
Yeah, I don't know why this is the new work computer. It shouldn't be doing this to me, but maybe it needs an update or something. But I don't know where I left off. But basically, what I was getting at is Connor Brown has found a way to produce on the third line and find his way up, as you mentioned. Finding decent line mates that work with Jeff Skinner's style is kind of where we're at right now. But at the same time, like it's on him to step up and be the leader on that line.
And you know, it's kind of, I mean, unfair is not the word because Nobby's been very clear. You need to be defensively conscious before you're going to get that top six shot. But it does kind of feel like literally everybody on this team besides Jeff Skinner has gotten that consistent top six shot. But the fact of the matter is, whenever Nobby has switched someone out to put him in that spot, it's worked out, brother. And it was much like the end of last season and in the playoffs. In Nobby we trust. Hashtag in Nobby we trust through and through. People are also saying you're from the future. How was 2025?
It's good.
Final, only other ones I had, the Oilers PK continues to be studly. We love it. I also wrote down, I fucking love reverse hits. I love when Leon Draisaitl does it, and today Darnell executed one, and he just popped Jack McBain right in the mouth, pow right in the kisser, and McBain looked pissed. You could hear it. You could hear him go, fuck. Like, it was awesome. I loved every bit of it. I love it when they continue to do it. It's, hey, you thought you were going to hit me. I'm going to hit you right back. Troy Stetcher, stop taking penalties. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the last note that I had. So that'll do it for us on Oilers Nation After Dark. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Come on the Nation vacation. You're thinking about 2025. I don't want to make too many promises, but this might be the most fun you could possibly have in 2025 because they are a blast. Take my word for it. March 30th to April 2nd, we're heading to Viva Las Vegas. Visit nationgear.ca for more details. It's going to be an awesome time. We're going to be in the bougie Stella Artois Lounge, per se, that's the name, at T-Mobile Arena. Free booze and food included with your entire Nation vacation ticket. You can also get the flight options or the non-flight options if you don't live in Edmonton, want to handle your own flights, or use your points of some kind. Maybe Doug Waite will hook you up. Guy works for WestJet. Shout out him. And that's all we need for the Nation vacation. Gina, I see, is in the chat and says, yeah, Pat and Bordzy, come to Vegas. I will definitely be coming to Vegas. All right. Denver, Colorado, Actually, I was about to say not my kind of vibe, also is my kind of vibe. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But no, Vegas, that's more Bordzy than Bordzy is himself. You damn right. I will be there. Let me know in the chat if you're coming, as I see the Naj. It's booked, baby. That's me a good time. I love you all in the chat. I hope you enjoy 2025, and I hope you guys tune in the pre-gaming and post-game shows here in 2025 as much as you did in 2024. I love you all. Good night, everybody. I appreciate you all, and get a little silly tonight. Why don't we celebrate an Edmonton Oilers W? And like I mentioned on pre-gaming, shocker. Feels like everybody already forgot about the bad weekend in California. Peace out, everybody. I love you all.